Coffee is here. Hello and welcome. Now let's get this guy away. This is nothing to do with today's video. Today I'm going to show you all my instruments I made. There are a few of them. Some of them are quite interesting. We have a sip of my coffee. Ooh, it's good. It's good. The first one is a travel guitar. Is it in the frame? Yes. So this is a modular travel guitar. As you can see, I borrowed the idea from another travel guitar. The way the string bend here and go to the tuners. So I took the idea. This is some sort of very hard maple. And the original travel guitar had a metal piece here. I made this one from some hardwood, but made it a little bit chunkier just in case. The idea of this one is, there are two ideas actually. First one is that this could be put in the luggage. The second one is that it's a modular. And by modular, I mean I have this thing. What is it? What is it? How does it work? Okay, it works like this. No, like this. Two little bolts. So you can put this one in the luggage, this one in the luggage. And you have a travel guitar like this. Ta-da! This is some sort of laminate which I bent. I don't remember how I was actually doing it. I bent the first layer, the second layer, and then I carved these two sticks to keep the shape of it, of the laminate. It's the same thing here. The idea of this was to make it as light as possible, and I think I really did a good job on the armrest. I am proud of this one the most. But that's not all. Because it's modular, I of course made a couple of other modules. Let's take this one away. And here is, where is it? Oh, here is the part number 2. How does it work? Oh, yes, something like this. It's a chunky piece, which I don't, oh yeah, here we go. Which goes like this, and again, those bolts. So this makes it less fragile version of that, maybe less travel, because this piece is heavy, and it makes it into sort of electric guitar, I guess. But I think I made this one first, and then I realized, no, this is just too heavy to travel with, so I made the other one. But that's not all for my modular guitar. I actually found this in the basement, this piece. I forgot that I ever made it. Okay, well, yeah, it needs a little better fitting now. So I made this one 15 years ago or so, long time ago. But that's not all. There is a piece number 3. Let's put this guy away. And the piece number 3 is this. To make it into a real guitar. Again, I forgot about this little guy. Ta-da! Somehow align. And what we have now is electric guitar with its own amp And the speakers here. Of course, I don't... Oh, no. There is a battery. Weak one, though. Oh, it's gone now. So anyway, the battery goes here. It's 9-volt battery. And it has headphones out. Of course, some sort of, I forgot what these were. I guess like distortion, probably. So that's the third module to make it into a real guitar with its own sound. Okay, let's see. It was a long time ago I made this guy, so I don't remember exactly, but there. But this thing is entirely hollow. I think I used the rest of the maple, which no, it looks actually different. Yeah, that would be something else. Well, anyway, whatever I used for this one, it's very light because it's basically made like acoustic guitar. So this whole thing is just hollow. And this bag is actually pretty good. Well, I don't know. It wasn't anything special. I don't play this guitar. I don't travel with it. I do nothing with it. Let's put this guy away. Instrument number 2. It's much simpler instrument. Not modular at all. Boom! It's electric violin. Obviously, this is the same maple. I still had some chunks. Maple with some added parts of some other wood. I don't know what it was. That's basically it. There's a cable inside which goes to the jack. You can see these holes because I realize it's kind of heavy being a maple, so I just cut these holes later to kind of make it more light. I was doing it actually by hand rather, so I was afraid I would kind of like messed it up, so I didn't go too deep, so kind of halfway there. So look at this, and it's yeah, it does work. I don't play it because I have Yamaha electric violin, which I like a lot. You can see this notch here because I made this thing and then I realized I can't really put a jack here because of this piece. So I actually had to carve a little hole which will allow me to slide the jack there. I'll just turn this away here. And you say like, no, you didn't make guitars. And I did. This was my first acoustic guitar which I made in a scale of 1 to 10. Making acoustic guitars would be around 8. 9 would be making piano. 10, I don't know. You're not only making guitar, you're also making a lot of jigs. You need to make a mold which will keep the shape when you're gluing the sides. You need to make a jig to create the dovetail for the neck to be attached to the body, that it's not crooked. But anyway, I made it. So that's my first guitar. But I didn't stop there, of course. So let me see the guitar number 2. There isn't much to say about it, except that it is a guitar. And there are little differences between steel string guitar and classical nylon string guitar. Most notably, there is no truss rod here. So you have to make this guitar basically as perfect as possible right away, because you cannot adjust the neck later. It's there and it's done. So that's my second guitar. It's nice, and I don't play it anymore. Okay, and my third guitar, and luckily for everyone, my last guitar is this guy. Pam pararam. And what is this? Of course, I thought like, yeah, the guitars making is fun. So I decided to make a guitar from Bubinga. That was a big mistake because it's so hard to bend. And not only that, bending even these were difficult. But bending this cutaway, that was awful. The reason why this is difficult is because when you have a hardwood like this guy, for example, you see how the grain goes this way, so you can bend it this way. If you try to bend it the other way, if the grain goes this way, it would just split. But in this curly Bubinga, the grain goes everywhere. When you start bending this part, it will start doing this. The grain will just try to separate, and it will be like poof, poof. And this part gave me so much headaches. So I remember I had this guitar in a stand for maybe 2-3 years unfinished, because I was like still on this part. If you go see closer, I did fix it really well, though. There are little cracks along. It's not very visible, but this one is. Of course, it's completely smooth. But there is a crack, so I had to use like super glue and whatever, fill it. Yes, so I had it for 3 years in unfinished way. It was sitting there and I just could not finish it. I was like, no, you know what, I don't care. And this was my last guitar. This took all my energy from making guitars. And honestly, when you are a beginner, to make a guitar from really, really difficult wood is probably the stupidest idea you can do. I kind of like stopped playing guitars completely. But now, forget guitars. Everyone can make a guitar. But here are the funky instruments. And here is my first funky instrument. This. What is this guy? It's a hurdy-gurdy. And this one was made from a kit from Netherlands called Nerdy-Gurdy. And what I really like about this thing, it uses modern method to create an old instrument. This is all plywood and cut by laser, and everything fits like a puzzle. The idea is similar to something like this. A little wooden puzzle, but Nerdy-Gurdy is for adults with much bigger pieces. This actually is supposed to be a locomotive, apparently, and this is how far I got. Doesn't look like a locomotive at all. They use 3D printer to make all these little parts. Even this capo here. I really like the idea of this kit, which you can make at home, and it took me about a week, 2 hours in the evenings. So it was very fast, and at the end I have an instrument which is quite unusual. In a scale of 1 to 10 as a woodworking, this could be 2 or 3. It's more than making IKEA furniture because you need to use glue. It takes some time to level the wheel, and I really like it. So let me see if I can play some sounds. It's a very screechy sound. So there are some drones like this one, and then there is a solo string. So let's continue with these weird instruments. And here is another one. And, of course, pa 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 pa. So, what is this guy? Well, it's a Swedish instrument, and they called it nickel harpa. And again, this one is made from the kit, from the same people who made a kit for Nerdy Gurdy, and it's also called Nerdy Harpa. What is this? It's an extremely over-engineered violin or something like that. And okay, I'll show you a little closer. It has enormous amount of strings. So it has 12 strings here and 4 strings here. And how this works is that these 4 strings are melodic strings, which you play with a bow. And these are resonant strings, and they are tuned to each tone and semitone in the octave. Whatever note you play, there is some string which will resonate with it and kind of like make it sound a little bit sustained. By over-engineered violin, you can see the amount of keys here, which work like frets on the guitar. Press a key, the tangent will touch the string and then change the pitch. The thing is about this instrument, it's heavy. It's heavy to hold, and I'm still not quite sure how to do that, but let's try to play it. I don't really know how to play it because I just made it maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. To make this one in a scale of 1 to 10 could be 4. It's more difficult than the Nerdy Gurdy because it has more keys, but also the top, which is plywood, is actually bent. And bending plywood is a little tricky. So if you want to make one of these from the nerdy people, I'd say start with the Nerdy Gurdy. This is more involved. It's more fun too. There's more strings. So this is a big instrument, big and heavy instrument, but believe me, it's not the biggest I made. And the biggest I made is the last instrument I want to show you, and I have to bring it up because it's in basement. So wait, don't go anywhere. Oh boy, this is heavy. Ooh, are you ready for my biggest instrument? Ooh. Boom! Ta-da! Does it fit into the frame? This is not only the biggest instrument, this is also the first instrument I made. And it's called hammered dulcimer. And basically you play like... Of course, this was in the basement for good 15 years. I believe this was from a kit as well, although I did make some modifications, like this is a plywood beneath, and then I put veneer and stuff, made it a little bit nicer. The top is mahogany, which, 15 years ago you can still get a good chunk of mahogany for not too much money. And the bag is just the plywood, right? Of course, it's completely out of tune. This is not difficult to build. This is difficult to tune because these are friction pegs and there is a lot of them. And the string actually goes like this around the screw back into another peg. And also there is a little secret here. Where is my secret? There are two secrets. First secret is this thing. Other secret is first secret is just to know what are the notes. Is like this little helper, and there is also one for this side, because this and this are different strings, right? So if you play on this side, because they go up and down, they kind of like crisscross like this. Well, it's still sort of tuned, but not much. So to tune it, my second secret is this guy. Boom! Yes, I know. It's a tuner. If we are in focus, it says orchestral tuner. So this one actually can pick up low notes and high notes much more than the typical guitar tuners. So this tuner is the only thing I could tune this instrument with. No other tuner could do that. So I actually bought two of them and I lost one. Let me move this guy. To tune it, you need a tuning key, which I have somewhere. I have plenty of them in my box of stuff. And these are friction pins. So they kind of sit in the wood and you turn them just by the friction. Not very reliable, and also, and like half degree here changes the note completely. So to tune this, that's an hour or more of work, and that's why it sits there and it's not tuned. And I didn't play it for a good 10 years probably, because it takes so much time to tune it. And also I wasn't very good in it. So here we have it. Ta-da! Everything I wanted to show you today. These are my instruments. Tell me which one would you like to make. And I'd suggest start with the hurdy-gurdy. It's much easier than anything else. Alrighty.